Hi all, here we are out on another lovely ride. Just been around some twisty bits, having some fun, and I was going to today attempt to cover the subject of carrying a pillion passenger, because I do carry, I'm not carrying one today, look, there's no one there, see, not carrying one today, but I do carry a pillion. My wife often comes on the back. I've had my son on the back. He's a good pillion because he rides anyway. Wife's a good pillion, even though she tries to ride the bike for you. Tips in a bit early sometimes, but no, she's a good pillion. But if you've never taken a pillion, which as a learner you're not supposed to, are you? You know, unless you're a really naughty learner, which most of you are. You're not supposed to take a pillion on your 125 until you pass your test. So when you first take one, there are a few things that are slightly different to normal riding. Whether you're in the town or whether you're, you know, excuse me, whether you're going on a long journey. The bike behaves completely differently when you've got two people sat on it. Obviously because you're carrying more weight, so it's a little bit more sluggish getting up to speed. Not a lot, you know, bikes are awesome, aren't they? You know, they've got loads of power compared to cars. But you know, they take a little bit longer when you've got pillion, and obviously when you're zooming along or even toddling along, they take longer to stop because you've got more weight and momentum moving along, so therefore it takes a bit longer to stop it. Now, things to do when you're riding pillion. First of all, before you even let the pillion get on the back, make sure your bike is set up for a pillion. Just adjust your suspension. So that's the first thing. Check your bike is set up and safe to carry your pillion. Next thing, before you let that pillion get on the back, ask the pillion, have you ridden on the back before? Because so many people just let people jump on and then, you know, assume they know what they're doing. Yeah, ask them if they've ridden pillion before. If they say no, then just tell them a few things like, right, so when we're going along, the road here, I want you to be generally looking over my right shoulder. But if you see a left-hand bend coming up, I want you to change your head position to look over my left shoulder and look around the corner with me. And if we've got a right-hand bend coming up, go back to the right-hand side and look around that right corner. That's what bikes are for, isn't it? Doing things like that. That's what bikes are all about. But yeah, pillions. I digress. I was having so much fun then, I digressed. When you've got pillion on the back, as I say, you've got extra weight. Tell them what to do with their head, you know, tell them to look around the corner as they're going around. Warn them, if they fight you, you could both fall off. That's generally enough to scare them into not fighting you. But once they're on and you're riding down the road, let's say you're doing 60 miles an hour and all the traffic comes to a halt. Now, when I've got pillion on the back, I use my back brake a lot more than I would normally, because I've got extra weight over the back wheel, so I know the back wheel won't lock up as easily, and I know it will work more efficiently because of the extra weight that's over the back wheel. It will work more efficiently. I don't use the front brake hardly at all, because if you grab a handful of front brake and you've got someone on the back that's not expecting you to stop, because they don't know exactly what you're going to do. Yes, they're supposed to be watching the road with you, but if you grab a handful of front brake, you're going to get nutted in the back of the head with their crash helmet, I can guarantee it, and all their weight is going to push you forward, so you'll find yourself sliding up the tank a bit and squishing the old gonads, and that ain't much fun. So braking, you have to ride a bit more sensibly, unfortunately, when you've got Pillion. So yeah, you have to ride a bit more sensibly when you've got a Pillion on the back, and watch your speed a little bit, because you've got to slow down more gradually. You can't anchor up like you would if you was on your own. Like that. You can't do that, because you'd have that person right in the back of you, pushing their weight forwards, and the bike will dive even more. Dive, as in, you know, nose dive into the ground, compress the front forks, if you like. Yeah. So anyway, that's braking. Accelerating, don't accelerate like a lunatic like I've just been doing, because it has the same effect. And if you've got a very powerful bike, you'll find your front wheel becomes very light, because there's more weight over the back wheel once again. So if you really give it a handful, you'll find that front wheel will start lifting off the ground very easily. When you're taking Pillion, just ride a little bit differently until you know that that Pillion is a capable Pillion, and can do what they have to do, you know, what you expect of them. Yeah, so riding Pillion, folks, a few things to remember. Obviously, braking's different, suspension is different, acceleration is different if you want a comfortable ride. Make sure your suspension is set up for a Pillion, as we said earlier. Make sure your tyre pressures are set up for a Pillion. That's an important one, because extra weight, once again, you know, you need a little bit of extra air in your tyre. And just ride sensibly, don't try and scare your Pillion, because they'll never ride with you again if you do that. Just ride a sensible ride, you know, get them used to it. If you're riding Pillion through town, which we're just going to try and do a bit of, we're going into the town now, go and play with some traffic in the town. Yeah, but if you're doing that with Pillion, just remember their knees stick out a bit further than yours, because your knees are generally gripping the tank. You know, if you're riding aggressively, you've got those old knees stuck in the tank. Yeah, but their knees are gripping onto your hips, basically, or your thighs, if you like. So their knees are further out than yours. So just be a bit mindful of that. So, as I say, when you're Pillion or riding with a Pillion, it's, you know, you just got to be sensible. Sensible riding, and they'll enjoy it. And that's the idea. If you're taking someone out for a day on a bike down the coast or whatever, You don't want them being terrified to come home, do you? So no, just take it easy with them. Let them enjoy it as much as you do. And you'll all have fun together then. A little talk on pillion riding. If you liked it, give it a like, share the video, subscribe to the channel, do all the things you know you've got to do. And whatever you ride, whether you're riding pillion solo, whether you're riding a ped, whether you're riding a 1000cc cruiser, whatever you ride it safe. Bye now. If you're riding pillion through town, we're just going to go through the town. I fancy a bit of filtering. That's what you'll be for a